faces here. I know most of you
Yeah.
from one world or another that I have lived through in this town. But, oh, what a pleasure. Thank you all for coming. I worked at Plaza Cafe for about 6.5 years. And Franco was my night chef, along with Scott Blair, which, did you bring those letters?
I did.
Okay. Judd has 2 letters that he's going to read. One from Scott, who was a night, Franco's right-hand man at night, and from Beverly Burgess, which both of them wanted so badly to be here. But Scott had a rock show somewhere, and Bev is living in Gold Beach and working in a shop, and most of the people in the shop had some event that they were going to, and she had to hold down the fort, which Beverly is one of the most responsible people, I swear, that I know in my life, other than my husband. But anyway, Franco and I, we had so much fun together, but I was one of his, I'm not going to say whipping boys, but he took a lot of frustration out on me. Angie's sitting here going, yeah, she listened to it. And I would throw it right back at him. So it was we had a mutual respect for each other. In all those years, I worked in a lot of places in restaurants. I mean, the Hamptons, Long Island, Palm Beach, Florida, several places here in Ashland. And Franco is one of the best chefs that I have ever worked with. He put out beautiful plates. If there was a problem at a table, you'd bring it back and he'd rectify it immediately. No comments, no what's going on, he would just do it and put it right back out to you quickly. I mean, in front of somebody else. He was just amazing. He could be grumpy at times. So all of us that have worked with him, know that he could be a little grumpy at times. But his heart was amazing. And one story that I want to tell you is New Year's Eve. 96 going into 97 when we had the major flood downtown.
Yeah.
Angie, myself, Franco, and Terry, were you?
Oh, heck no.
You were there that night? I can't remember who
Joni McGowan is there.
Oh, Joni.
Right, she came in, and I'm getting to her. But there was another person working with us, but they kind of left. And the police came around, because we were right down on the plaza, and they gave us this notification saying, hey, we're going to have a flood tonight, and it's definitely going to flood. So we just want you to be aware of that. So as Angie and I and Franco are closing up the restaurant, we're debating. Do we bring up all the wine from downstairs? As Angie and I are putting tables on top of tables and then chairs on top of those, getting everything up as high as we could.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're right down there on the level. And the creek behind that strip, behind the plaza strip, it's pretty low most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, that baby was right up street level and raging.
Yes,
down
it was.
So we got off work, closed the place down. We're putting all the tables up, and Franco comes out, and we're debating: do we bring up all the wine from downstairs? And Franco's going, no, let's not worry about it. Angie and I are going, no, let's bring the wine up. Franco goes, no, I'm going to spend the night here tonight. He was so dedicated. He's going to spend the night there tonight, and he'll bring it up. And I mean, there's cases of wine down there.
Oh, a lot.
And so Angie and I are going, are you sure you want to do this? And you don't argue with Franco when he says this is what's going to happen. Well, all of a sudden, the front door of Plaza Cafe opens. I mean, it just flies open. And Joni McGowan comes walking in.
Yes, she did.
With all, I mean, Joni was bigger than life.
That's right.
For you that don't know her, all of us that know her know exactly what I'm saying. And Joni comes flying in the door and goes, hey guys, let's get that wine up out of this cellar. So Franco had no choice. We hauled all the wine up and set it all up on the bar and on the counters and stuff. But I'll never forget that night. So when it was all said and done, the police said, you know, don't go up into the park area. But of course, we had to see what was going on.
Absolutely.
So Angie and I and Roger had come to pick you up that night, and Franco, the four of us walked up into the park,
Yep.
and you could hear the boulders just
Yep.
barreling down.
I was there.
I mean, it was intense. And we stood at the bridge that's, I don't know the name of that restaurant that's right on the corner now.
Scout.
Anyway.
The first bridge.
It used to
Yeah.
be. It
The
used to be
first bridge.
Lithia Stationers.
So the bridge was there,
Yeah.
and we stood there and we watched.
Yeah,
You know,
Lithia
we
Stationers.
knew
Yeah.
that river was rising,
Yeah.
the creek was
I
rising.
was right there.
And we predicted, and Franco goes, "Oh man, we're gonna have a flood." So we went, "No shit." So by the time, well, then of course we had to walk further up. So we got up about as far as Pioneer Hall, and the police came and ran us out. The police came in and they said, "You guys got to get out of here." We, you know, he said, "Well, we just got off work and we want to check it out." And he goes, "Yeah, but you can't be here." So we walked back down, and when we walked back down, the water had gone from about maybe 3 feet below the top of the bridge
Uh-huh.
to about this
I was
much
there.
from the
Yeah.
clearance of
Yeah.
the bridge.
Uh-huh.
And we looked at each other and said, "Holy shit."
Yeah.
So that whole evening, I swear I will take it to my grave with me. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It just incredible. I mean, all of us that live here know and
Yeah.
went through it, whether
Yeah.
our neighborhood, our backyard. I mean, I had a river in my backyard. I don't normally have a river in my backyard. It was coming up out of the ground. Roger was at the manhole when it blew out. But I just hold Franco so close in my heart. We have the annual gatherings at a cabin that we have up in the woods, and Franco would come for years. And he'd always bring his avocado bay shrimp salad because he knew I loved that salad. And he'd bring it up every year. And he would play his music, whether it's the flute, sax, horn, whatever it is, clarinet, he would play it. And one year after the gathering happened, our next door neighbors who, you know, a little ways away, they said, he told me that one of his favorite memories up there is hearing the woodwind wafting just through the trees and to his camp.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'll tell Franco that." And he was holding his heart when I told him.
Oh.
But he was a good man, a very good friend, and God, I miss him dearly.